I'm Stephen. Fuck. I'm quoting. I wrote a poem to Amy to help her know that she was seen and perhaps understood, and certainly not alone. It was called Amy's Blanket Fort. The blanket fort was not running away, rather, it was a trusting in and a moving toward and a staying with um, the sliver of comfort found in this chaotic, confusing, challenging, crippling, scarred world. Your castle has a moat to mark for the unawares the point of danger, the change of rule. My fort has a juice box. Your castle has a drawbridge to allow in only those who pass the hark who goes, test and cause the chains to move. My fort has peak roof for peeking out and on occasion for peeking in, but only for the lucky few, and only in the lucky few moments when all is well. For a spell. Your castle has both balustrade and colonnade murettiere in its parapets for staving off the storms and against standing and withstanding armed swarms. My fort has a pair of pets. This fluffster at my calf snoring and this stuffedster in crook of arm. Well worn with eye missing, but stuffed animal see with squishy bits inside, not these button eyes. Your castle has barbican and portcullis. My fort has a whittle wicken. Jealous? Your castle has both crenellation and matriculation. My fort has an introvert's narration and ceaseless cogitation. Your castle has walls of stone, long charred by dragon breath, with dents by dint of minotaur and harpy. My fort is cotton batting, linen for winning battles with monsters, greater than your gods. We are bound to one another by threads. The tapestries of our lives are composed of threads. The stories or yarns we tell are themselves threads. Our DNA itself is a spiraling thread. None of us lives a life in isolation. We may feel or even be physically isolated. We are not and cannot be. None of us lives a life alone. We may be lonely, but we are inextricably linked to others, perhaps every other. Thus, I conclude that Amy did not take her own life. Not alone. She took something of each of us. It was not hers alone to take. Anger is therefore appropriate, as is grief. The loss we've suffered is something of ourselves, which includes the whole of Amy. This existence, this experience seems to be a balance sheet. Perhaps because we're brought up to be good little capitalists. I don't know. But many of us consciously or unconsciously will decide that enough was not found, expressed, experienced, lived, appreciated, repeated in order to successfully balance out what was torn or scarred or hurt or confused or disorganized or painful or overwhelmingly challenging. Life is not a balance sheet. It was not that we should reread the poem or the song of the course of Amy's life and think where more could have been added to balance it out and keep her with us. It was never a question of adding more. It was never a question of what was missing or what we missed or what she missed receiving enough of. It is simply now and all of the precious and empty tomorrows that she left to us that we can miss her. No amen here, just one fuck. Then we'll do the sacred part. A moment of silence. Let us now listen for the silence. Let us not enforce the silence that we find. Let us now honor the silence that we find, that Amy has found. Let our voices and all of our coming days be born of the silence Amy's death has given birth to. By the way, Amy once said that if this day ever came, uh, nobody should think she lost her marbles, and she entrusted them to me. So if anybody would like to take a marble,